If eczema has been part of your life since you turned 60, if your skin cracks and flares and calms down just long enough to make you think it is over before it comes roaring back again, then I need you to hear something that no one has told you yet. This is not aging, and the fact that your doctor keeps treating it like it is, that is the first problem. You have spent years putting medicine on the outside of your body for a problem that lives on the inside. And the worst part is the creams were never supposed to fix it. They were designed to manage it. There is a difference, and that difference is costing you your skin. And it is not because no one has figured it out. In Chinese medicine, we have had a name for this pattern for over 1,000 years. Your skin is not the problem. Your skin is the alarm. There is a wall between your bloodstream and the things you eat. When that wall works, your immune system stays calm. When it breaks down, and after 60 it breaks down fast, your immune system starts attacking everything. Your skin is just where you see it. Tonight, I'm going to show you a mix of 3 ingredients you can find at any grocery store. One of them is something you have probably walked past 100 times without knowing what it does to damaged gut lining. Within the first week, the flares start to quiet. Within 3, most people feel a difference they have not felt in years. And once I show you why this works, you will understand why nothing your doctor gave you ever could. Think of the lining of your gut like a garden wall made of old stone. When you are young, every stone fits tight. Nothing gets through that should not. But after 60 years of processed food, antibiotics, stress, and medications that were never meant to be taken this long, those stones start to shift. Small gaps open between them, and through those gaps, tiny pieces of undigested food, bacteria, toxins, things that were never supposed to touch your blood, start leaking through. And what happens next is where the real damage begins. Your immune system sees them, and it does not know what they are. So it does what any good guard does when it sees strangers inside the walls. It attacks. It sends inflammation everywhere it can reach. Your joints, your sinuses, your belly, and your skin. Especially your skin, because skin is the largest organ you have, and it is the first place your body tries to push the fight to the surface. This is why the creams never hold. You put cortisone on a patch of eczema and it calms down for a week, maybe 2. But the gaps in that wall are still open. The leaking has not stopped. So your immune system fires again, and the flare comes back, sometimes in the same spot, sometimes somewhere new. You are mopping the floor while the faucet is still running. And every year you keep mopping, the faucet opens a little wider. The immune system gets more confused, and the flares get harder to calm down. I have seen this in more people than I can count. The ones who catch it early heal fast. The ones who wait 10 years heal too, but the body has to work much harder. And I want to tell you about one of those people because what happened to her in the first 5 days is something her 4 dermatologists could not explain. A woman named Ruth came to me 3 years ago. 67, retired schoolteacher from Columbus, Ohio. She had a habit of pulling at the skin on her wrists when she was nervous. By the time I met her, the eczema on her wrists and forearms was so raw she had stopped rolling up her sleeves entirely. She wore long sleeves in July. She told me she had not shaken someone's hand in over a year because she did not want them to feel her skin. She had been to 4 dermatologists, prescription steroid creams, over-the-counter ointments, an elimination diet she found online, and a light therapy device she ordered from a commercial at 2 in the morning. Some of it worked for a few days. None of it lasted. When I looked at her, I did not start with her skin. I asked her about her stomach. She looked at me like I had lost my mind. But she answered, bloating after most meals, irregular digestion for years, a feeling like her body could not quite settle after eating. I gave her the same 3-ingredient mix I am about to give you. Within 5 days, the flare on her left forearm started to fade. By the end of 3 weeks, she told me it was the first time in 4 years her skin felt smooth enough to forget it was there. She went to her granddaughter's piano recital that month in a short-sleeved blouse. She did not even think about it until she got home and looked in the mirror. And what I gave her took less than 3 minutes to make. Tonight, I am going to walk you through it step by step so you can do the same thing before bed with what you already have in your kitchen. The first ingredient is something you have probably walked past in the grocery store 100 times without knowing what it can do. Coconut oil, not the refined kind you see in the cooking aisle. You want virgin coconut oil, cold pressed, the kind that is solid at room temperature and smells like coconut when you open the jar. This is important because virgin coconut oil still has something called lauric acid intact. Your body takes lauric acid and turns it into a compound that does 2 things that matter here. First, it kills harmful bacteria and yeast on contact. Your damaged gut wall has been letting bad bacteria multiply for years, and lauric acid starts thinning that population the moment it reaches your stomach. Second, it coats and soothes inflamed tissue. We have used coconut oil for gut inflammation long before anyone called it a supplement. You need about 1 tablespoon, slightly softened. Set it in a small bowl. But the coconut oil alone is not enough because it has no way to fight the inflammation that is already sitting in those cracks. That is where the second ingredient comes in. Turmeric. Fresh root is best if you can find it. You grate about half a thumb-sized piece into the bowl. If you only have ground turmeric, use half a teaspoon. Turmeric contains something called curcumin, one of the strongest natural inflammation fighters that exists. But here is the problem that nobody selling turmeric supplements wants you to know. On its own, curcumin passes through your body so fast your liver flushes it out before it ever reaches your gut. You swallow it and your body throws it away. That is why the coconut oil matters so much. The fat in the oil slows the curcumin down. It holds it in your digestive tract longer, right against those damaged stones in the wall, exactly where the repair needs to happen. This is not something you will hear from a supplement company because they would rather sell you a capsule with black pepper extract for 3 times the price. But there is still one thing missing from this bowl, and without it, the other 2 cannot finish the job. The third ingredient is raw honey. Not the honey in the plastic bear. Raw, unfiltered honey, the kind that is thick and cloudy and has not been heated past the temperature of a beehive. 1 tablespoon stirred into the same bowl. Raw honey contains natural enzymes and prebiotics that feed the good bacteria your gut has been starving for. It also contains a natural antiseptic, the same kind your body already uses to clean wounds from the inside. When raw honey reaches your gut lining, it does 2 things at once. It feeds the bacteria that repair the wall, and it gently cleans the bacteria that damage it. No drug on a pharmacy shelf does both at the same time. Now here is how you put all 3 together so they actually work. You stir them in the bowl until they form a soft paste. You eat it slowly, 1 small spoonful at a time, about 30 minutes before bed. Do it on an empty stomach if you can. While you sleep, all 3 go to work at the same time. The oil coats, the turmeric calms, and the honey rebuilds. By morning, your gut lining has had 8 straight hours of repair that no cream on the outside of your body could ever touch. Do this every night for 3 weeks. And what happens in the first week surprises almost everyone because it is not the skin that changes first. The itching goes quiet. Then the redness fades from the edges inward. By the 3rd week, the skin feels different under their fingers. Not just calmer, but smoother, like the texture is changing from the inside. One man told me his elbows felt like they did in his 50s. A woman told me she touched her neck one morning and cried because it was the first time in 6 years it did not feel like sandpaper. But here is what I tell every single one of them after they feel that change, because the mix alone is only half the answer. What I just gave you will quiet the eczema. It will calm the flare. For many of you, that is enough, and I mean that. Take it and use it tonight with my blessing. But if you have ever wondered why the eczema showed up when it did, or why it keeps circling back every few weeks no matter what you do, then stay with me for just another moment. What I have noticed over 50 years of practice is a pattern. The eczema is the surface. Underneath it is an immune system that has lost its sense of what to fight and what to leave alone. And underneath that confused immune system is a gut that has been slowly falling apart for years. That is the chain, skin to immunity to gut. And the reason it hit you after 60 is because that is when the gut wall has finally taken enough damage to break. The years of antibiotics, the decades of processed food, the medications that were never meant to last this long. They add up silently until one day your skin starts screaming. Every person I have ever seen clear their eczema for good, not just quiet it, but truly clear it, has been someone who went all the way to the bottom of that chain. Your gut lining needs something the mix cannot give it on its own. It needs living bacteria, the kind that antibiotics and medications wiped out years ago. It needs the fiber those bacteria eat so they can actually survive and multiply. And it needs the healing compounds those bacteria produce once they are properly fed. The mix repairs the wall, but you also need soldiers to guard it. For my patients, alongside the mix I just taught you, I give them a daily kombucha practice. Kombucha is a fermented tea that my tradition has used for generations. It delivers all 3 of those things in a single drink. Living bacteria, natural fiber, and the healing compounds that go straight to the gut wall. When the gut is finally fed what it needs, the false alarms stop. The flares do not just fade, they stop coming back. Not for a week, for good. I make my own kombucha at home because I have the time and the knowledge. But for everyone watching online who can't brew their own, I give BoochBod Kombucha Gummies. The link is in the description, or you can search BoochBod Kombucha Gummies on Amazon. Ruth still writes to me. She is 70 now. Last summer, she sent me a photograph of herself at a lake with her grandchildren. Tank top, arms bare. She said the skin on her forearms has not flared in over 2 years. She told me she forgot what it felt like to think about her skin every time she got dressed in the morning. She just gets dressed now. That same road is open to you. It does not matter if you are 65 or 80. Your body still knows how to do this work. It has been waiting for someone to give it what it needs. Tonight you can start. If this helped you, subscribe to this channel. Share this video with someone you love who has been fighting their skin for too long. And leave me a comment telling me how long you have been dealing with this. I read every single one. Until next time.